Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd Age, where we discuss everything nerdy. My name is Mick, and with me as always are my co-hosts Josh.
What's up?
Corey.
Yo.
And Jonah.
Hey, everybody.
All right, today our main topic is going to be Book of Boba Fett, episode 3.
That's right. Does anyone remember the title?
Nope.
Streets of Mos Espa.
Okay, nice.
Street.
We had this
Street
problem
fight.
when we were going through Bad Batch,
Street
Yeah.
fight.
so I'm
I
glad
feel-
we're getting a little
I
bit
feel like
better.
with Mandalorian, it's usually like, oh, the title is the something, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The warrior.
They're
the
adding
bounty
in
hunter.
more words in there. It's hard to remember.
And then the other thing that is weird about now them doing the release on a Wednesday is that it takes us a few days. Once everyone else does their like discussion and stuff, we're ending up discussing later. But it gives us time to really like marinate on the
Or
story.
it takes time, and then we forget things because it's been a long time since we saw the episode.
Nah.
But definitely not that.
I watched it twice because I watched it without Melissa, and then Melissa wanted to watch it.
Nice.
So I remember.
Wow, so much
everything.
insight. Or why don't you start us out? Or wait, what are we doing? What do you mean? What are you saying? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say here?
I was just going to ask if you guys have been staying up till midnight.
I have.
What do you mean? Sorry.
He is.
I have. Yeah.
I do. I
watches
have
it?
actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh has been texting, which I'm surprised because he'll text me after, and I'll be like, oh,
See, the first week I was like, I have to stay up because Jonah's going to ruin it. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna look at my phone. It's gonna be like, man, can't believe Darth Vader showed up or
Right.
something
Yeah.
crazy, you know,
Yeah.
something that doesn't even make sense.
you mean Harrison Ford
Right.
on Solo?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll stay up. And then after that, Crystal and I were like, we'll just stay up.
Cool.
What's one? I mean, it's brutal the next day at work,
Yeah.
but
They normally drop a little earlier.
They
though.
have been.
They have been
That's
dropping.
nice.
Like if you check, you're like, oh,
5 minutes
Yeah.
early. I get to bed 5 minutes
Every
earlier
minute
now.
counts, right?
that's right.
Nice. Well, what did you think about it, Jonah? What did you think about this episode?
So this episode is a tale of two halves. I love the first half, and then the second half, not as big of a fan. I thought the great stuff was we have to kudos to Sea Dog because he called last week that the Sand People were going to get murdered, and so turns out he was
Guess
right.
what? They got murdered.
But I loved that part, not because they got killed, but the music in that moment was just so good. The acting there was so good,
Yeah.
like him burning them and grabbing the little stick from the little guy.
Come on.
Like that was really good. I like the stuff with the Rancor. I like the stuff with Black Chewie, and like that was really cool. And then the speeder gang, the chase scene. My biggest complaint with the chase scene is it was really slow. It felt it was weird because I was like, why does this feel like it's so slow? They're just moving in slow motion. And I don't know if it's the way the frame rate of the shot or what it was. It just felt,
They're not doing quick cuts. They're doing long cuts.
yeah,
Like the shot lasts forever.
yeah.
That's why it felt so long. And that was the same complaint I had with the hardcore
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
It was similar.
Very slow.
Yeah, and so again, all over the internet, people were like, this is the worst thing ever. I'm not saying that it's the worst thing ever. I just thought it wasn't executed as well. The other thing I'll say, and then I'll let you guys talk a little bit, that I've loved the music in this show, and the music in Mandalorian. The music they chose for that chase scene just felt so like cheesy. It was like the
It was goofy.
I felt like I was watching Spy Kids because Maya's been watching Spy Kids, which are the worst movies ever. But it's Robert Rodriguez
Yeah.
and Machete, and so I was just like, why does this feel so much like Spy Kids? I kept expecting Antonio Banderas to show up or something, and rip off his mustache. But I don't know. All in all, I think the episode, I still enjoyed it. The first half, I really enjoyed a lot more, and it outweighed kind of the parts that I was like, I'm not such a big fan of that. But I think I'm looking forward to what's happening with the Pikes, and hopefully Kira shows up.
Yeah, I agree. The second half just kind of lost me. It's funny you mentioned the music because that was like the first thing I noticed during the chase. It was like, this is not Star Wars-y type of music. Like, it just felt totally not right. But it was cool seeing Black Chrysanthemum in action, seeing him actually be a beast, and
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
pretty terrifying. It'd be cool to see him and Chewie like battle off when we get Harrison Ford.
That's
coming
right.
in,
Yeah, you never know, guys.
Chewie will be there too. So, yeah, I thought the Rancor was gonna eat Boba for a little bit. Yeah, I was getting freaked out because it was just staring at him, but I guess they were telling the truth, so he didn't.
He's gonna ride that puppy.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
But I like the call to the holiday special when he was riding the giant.
Oh, and he says, "I've ridden things."
Yeah, ridden things.
Yeah.
10
10
times the size or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it was sad seeing the Sand People die, but I feel like it's necessary for his furthering his character. So, yeah, I think this compared to the other episodes, it was a bit of a downgrade, but I'm still excited to see where it goes. I'm not turned off by it at all. So
Yeah.
Sure, me.
I mean, we went on a line.
Yeah, I guess we're going in order. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I felt pretty mixed on this episode. Before I said, they need to do something in this episode that keeps this pacing going, and I didn't get everything I wanted. I thought killing off the Sand People was good, also very expected. But yeah, it was just the rhythm of the episode was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're saying like Tale of Two halves or something like that. Yeah, kinda. I wasn't even really totally sold on the first half of it. Like, I don't know. For you guys, I think you guys liked the revealing the tribe being just destroyed.
Well, you knew it was coming, so
Maybe that's why I didn't like it as much. I don't know. I don't know. I just wish. I don't like the dry reveal of just, oh, he comes upon them and they're dead. And, oh, okay, well, these are the guys who did it. Like, I don't know. I wish there was some other way of revealing that, or maybe he could see it happening, but he had no power to, keep it from happening. Like, anything like that. Like, I would have, that would have been a lot better for me.
he's on the Banta, and they're murdering them, and it's going so slow that he's like, "Come on, hurry up,
Fast enough.
faster!" And he just by the time he gets there, they're all dead.
Or finding out from someone indirectly what was going to happen from the Pikes or something like that, and him then going over there and finding out. You know what I mean, like indirectly. But
I'm getting captured, knowing that he
Sure.
can't get out. Yeah, that makes sense.
Something like that. It just felt a little dry. The whole episode felt very dry, and then the whole the black Wookiee guy. What's his name?
Chrysanthemum.
He's awesome, but he feels weird. Like it's like there's like throwing these cool this character in there, and he destroys everyone, and then like Boba Fett lets him go, and I'm like, So they're probably gonna do a callback. He's gonna come back,
Oh, he's teaming up with Boba Fett.
and I think they're gonna
100%.
team up. Yeah, because he will respect that.
Because he looked at him like,
He'll respect oh, you really let me go? Yeah. So he's coming back, and he's going to help Boba Fett. Spoilers. And kind of mixed feelings on the Rancor, actually. I like the situation, but I don't know, man. I don't trust Machete, dude.
see,
You think it's gonna?
Machete's
you think it's
pure-hearted.
gonna play out the right way? You
This
think it's
is-
gonna play out how it looks?
they've made the
You
whole
don't
whole.
think that the gift isn't really a gift.
No, I think
Okay.
I think they're using it as they would never expect him to write it, and the
Okay.
whole in the first episodes they're like,
Sure.
"Where's your litter? Where's your litter?" He's gonna roll up on
Okay.
his Rancor, and that's gonna
That's his
get the
litter.
respect
Okay.
that people like. He doesn't have any respect.
Yeah.
He's like, "You want to see my litter? Okay, I'm gonna ride in on a freaking Rancor."
Okay.
I think that's what it's gonna.
That'd be
Okay,
pretty sweet.
that'll be cool. Then the whole situation with the mayor and his little dum guy.
I don't like that guy.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I really dislike it. It's a huge turnoff for this series for me. Just like it's so cheesy. Like that whole chase scene was cheesy. Felt like a cartoon. With the music too, it just made it feel just not. It didn't belong in a Star Wars show. And then people have issues with how the mopeds look. I think the only reason why people have such a big issue with it because on Tatooine it's gonna look way out of place.
Yeah.
But on
Coruscant.
Coruscant.
I mean, they have a
Naboo.
50s diner
Naboo.
in Coruscant. So.
Yeah. So those are the places where that looks more in like it belongs. But to their point, I will say this: that style was in the prequels, so that was a long time ago, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking about in the future, and so maybe it's just like, oh, it's more like a retro feel,
a retro game.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm okay with it. I just thought that the way they shot it, the whole story of how they got to him and caught him, and then like he like runs into like like a marketplace and they're like, oh, he crashes, like, okay, yeah, they're over here. Like it's just like nothing bad happened. There was no stakes.
You
really.
wanted him to get decapitated.
Yeah, I would like to see a decapitation. Mm-hmm.
or loses Leiku.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd like to see something like that. It's just it felt very soft and it felt like a kid's show.
Spy Kids
for me. No, not Spy Kids. No, not that, but any other. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think that this episode kind of let me down a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but I think hopefully this starts picking up because they're really planting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of the main thing that they're doing. They're planting seeds all over the place, and so I'm expecting something really good from them. Yeah. And I'm excited for the next episode at least.
Nice.
What do you think?
I have the same thoughts. Like, hey, I really liked some things in the episode, and they outweigh the bad things, which is mainly the Vespa chase or whatever, the little scooter chase.
But you like the reveal of the tribe getting destroyed?
Yeah, I thought that was good because I almost feel like they can make it like it's more character development for Boba Fett because he's like, I caused this essentially.
Yeah.
He's like, I tried to do a good thing and I tried to, show power and give these people power, but in the end, my decisions really got them all killed.
Yeah.
So I like that
like he
aspect
knew it was better
of it
for them.
I like that aspect of it. I thought that maybe we'll be moving away from flashbacks, but we still need to resolve the issue. He's going to go back and he's going to have to wreck all these people. So I think we'll still get some flashbacks at least. But I like what this episode did to set up. Basically, this was almost like kind of like the first act of the show is like we've established what his issues are. We know who the overall bad guy is essentially with the Pikes landing, and we're kind of setting up like a nice little syndicate war, which is cool. That excites me. Like that makes me super excited to see how it works with the Pikes and stuff like that. And do we get other syndicates coming in? Do the twins, even though they say they're leaving, do they double back and basically wait for Boba Fett and the Pikes to kill themselves, and then they're like, hey, we're going to come in and swoop in and take that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're to me that those scenes made me, I guess, a little more confident in the fact that there's, like I'm saying, Kira's showing up, because I don't think they don't mention who. Boba Fett never asks who, right? But they're scared. They're like, we're not. Someone else has been given this, and the Pikes are already on there, so it has to be someone else that controls the Pikes for the twins to leave. So that kind of, like you said, I think it's good that they're setting that up when he says there's a war coming. I just hope it starts picking up, because I feel like we're getting down to, the end, not halfway through, right? But those last 3 episodes are going to go pretty quick.
Yeah.
So they kind of got to, I think, pick it up a little bit.
Something has to kind of start happening.
And I think you're probably going to be disappointed because next week is going to be his recruiting trip to the 3 different families that own Mos Espa. So he's going to go to the Trandoshan.
What we've seen in the trailer.
What we've seen in the trailer of whatever that meal, the little banquet they have set up. So that's probably going to happen. But I mean, other than that, I'm excited for where it's going. I like the Black Crescent and stuff. Seeing him like just rip him out of the back to tank and kind of throw him around was pretty sweet. Or having the gaffy stick stuck in his back and then just like it's staying there until he goes back and pulls it out.
Sick.
Yeah, I was super bummed because I'm like, man, we already lost the Tusken Raiders. I was like, bummer. And then I thought one of the Gamorreans was going to go out. He like bit his neck. I was like, he's going to take out the Gamorreans too.
The Gamorreans got
the one thing I will say though is they didn't. I think the Tusken warrior is still alive, because they
specifically didn't show.
They
her.
didn't show her.
Yeah.
They showed the tribe leader, and then they showed the kid's
stick.
Stick. So I'm thinking she's going to show up kind of in one of the later episodes.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you guys, because I've seen a lot of people complain about this, and I'm kind of on the fence about it. Do you feel like they've taken a little too long to make Boba Fett kill somebody? He rolls in Mandalorian. He takes down a whole platoon of stormtroopers by himself, basically, right? He's just a bad A, right? And then at the beginning, or at the end of Mandalorian, the tease for Book of Boba Fett, he goes in and just murders Bib Fortuna, right? And then in this episode, it kind of seems like everyone is like, no one respects you, no one respects you. And he's like, like he's never like presented himself as like, oh, I'm a threat, I'm going to just murder somebody. And Fennec Shand is always saying like, oh, just kill him, or kind of, does that make sense? So I've seen a lot of complaints of people saying like, shouldn't he be still, because we've seen him in Mandalorian that he murdered stormtroopers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he still have some of that tendency? Do you guys think? I think that's going to end up happening like later. And we saw in the first episode, he killed the guy with his rocket launcher. But what do you guys think? Where do you guys stand on that? Do you think he's been too kind of noble in these first 3 episodes, or are you fine with it?
Well, I kind of think that's the point of it, is that he's trying, like, he's not trying to be Jabba the Hutt. So he's not trying to just go around and be like, hey, I'm going to feed you to the Rancor. I'm going to kill you because you looked at me funny or whatever. So I literally think that's part of the story. So I think if he just went in and started killing everybody, it would defeat the purpose of literally what he's trying to do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to rule
with respect,
not with fear.
Yeah.
So allowing people to talk. It seems like he's going more of the like diplomatic route in terms of
But do you think it's too? Because I'm kind of on the fence of it, because I'm like, okay, I understand the whole what you're saying. It's part of his story arc where he wants to not be Jabba. He wants to do his own thing. But I do feel at some point there are moments like, well, you could kill one guy. Like, you could, or show a little more strength. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence, because at some points I think, okay, we've had 3 episodes where everyone is disrespectful to him, right? No one respects him, and he still continues to kind of just be like, okay, do you want to work with me? You want to work for me, kind of thing. Like, anybody that talks bad to him, he's like, well, why don't you come work for me? Kind of thing. And I guess from what the trailer showed, it was more like a Godfather kind of, that's what I was assuming, crime families and stuff. So I'm kind of on the fence on there. I think maybe he could be a little more brutal. But I'm thinking towards the end of the series, you're going to get those moments.
I feel like it's ramping up.
Okay.
Just like you were saying, it just seems to be building on like insult after insult.
Yeah.
Oh, you're washed up.
Yeah.
You're not a crime boss. So I think we're building up to something more violent, Boba Fett or something.
I think it's a common thing in Star Wars. I think that, you look at Luke Skywalker and he's not just massacring millions because he can. He's doing other things because he has control over himself and he's doing the right thing. It's like giving himself up and not fighting Darth Vader and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, obviously, we want to see him fight. It's going to happen. But, there's something to be said about earning respect through other means. So, I mean, that's the common theme. So, we'll see. Talk to me in like 1 or 2 episodes. Maybe I'm like, it's stupid.
Yeah, if it waits till like the last episode for him to do something, then I think it will be a different story.
Yeah.
I think there's also the aspect of that he's not at 100% strength. You know what I mean? He keeps having to go back into his bacta tank, so he's weakened for some reason.
Yeah, but the only pushback I'll give to that is in Mandalorian, which takes place before this, he shows up on that planet when we first see him, and he takes out all those stormtroopers. Like, he takes out like 30 of them.
Yeah, and then he was tired after that.
Yeah, I mean, he probably had a bacta tank, but that's what I'm just saying. I just feel like if I'm comparing to that guy, and then it seems like we're getting a different... I hope they explain it, but even if they don't, as long as the story's good, I just feel like, to me, I can see that balance of like, okay, you've showed him in a certain way here, and now we're kind of getting a different way. Obviously, his motivations have changed In that moment, he didn't want to become the new Jabba the Hutt.
Right, he wanted his
but
armor
now
back.
he's right. So I'm just thinking, I can understand that, but it's just like seeing that visceral Boba Fett murder a bunch of people. Not that I want to see that, but I'm like, it just seems like
I know.
there just seems like there's a difference.
murder in the show.
There's just, it seems like a difference.
I guess my question is, what situation that's happened so far, like, would you have wanted to go him, like, make him more brutal? Like, what scenes that have gone by already?
Well, I'm just saying,
that
like,
you're like, oh, you should have just destroyed it, like, killed them all.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm thinking about the
so,
situation so
first
far,
example
they're
is
not
the guy we don't
crazy.
like, the mayor guy. Not the mayor, but his assistant.
Yeah.
His assistant all the time is like talking back to him. He's always like, let me go check. And then did he just lock the door? Right. There just seems to be like the interactions they've had with him. It's constantly like he's always talking back and stuff. And not that he has to kill him, but I'm just saying like being more menacing and like breaking his arm or, something like that. I just feel like in every one of those situations, Fennec Shand is always like, do you want me to disintegrate him? Do you want me to do this? And he's always like, no. I just think it seems like it's a little different than what we saw with the stormtroopers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get it. I think it's just a matter of circumstance.
He's changed since then.
yeah, but
He's gone
And
through
he
a
has
lot.
different goals than that. He's not gonna. What does he care about stormtroopers? There's
Right, but I'm saying
if he murders all the stormtroopers, there's no repercussion. If he murders that guy, there's a repercussion
Right, okay.
to what
Yeah, that
his
makes sense.
goals of what he's trying to reach.
Yeah. I see it.
And like you said, it's not like we haven't seen him, shoot a rocket at a guy or fight Black Chrysanthemum in this last episode. I think like I said, I think it's building up to something that we'll see more of him doing. More.
all I know is he better like ride that Rancor and just go into Mos Eisley and let that Rancor snack on people. Right. Like,
Yeah, I think that's the big
Gonna happen.
that's the big problem, right? Is he's trying to be a crime lord.
Right.
He's sick and tired of being a bounty hunter, and everyone's like, oh well, he's a bounty hunter, so he should kill everybody. And he's like, I'm trying to diversify here.
Right.
I'm trying to be the crime lord. Jabba the Hutt wasn't killing people; he was having other people do it.
yeah, but that's
Right. He's having other people do
okay.
it. And so he wants to do that, but everyone keeps telling him like, hey, you're a bounty hunter. Or even the guy with the water, he's basically like,
Office
hey, you want
Space guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that the guy? Is he in Office Space? He's also in Dodgeball, right?
yeah.
He's in dodgeball. That's where I was
that's
like,
the first thing
my gosh.
But even him, he's
So
like,
many people in this episode.
he's like,
Shetty.
you're a crime lord. Like,
Yeah.
but he's like, hey, I'll give you some money to take care of these people. So really, he's like treating him like a bounty hunter
Right.
still. So
Right.
I think something has to give eventually. I think he's going to be like, yeah, screw it. I'm going to be brutal. And I'm also going to be a crime lord. And, maybe riding that Rancor is the way to do it. So, but yeah, so I will say that, the worst part for sure was the chase scene.
Yeah.
The colors and everything. I texted Jonah. There's two pop culture references that came to mind. One of them was, George Costanza on his scooter, like running away from the old people, and it's like the slowest chase ever. I think there's even, was that on Facebook? You sent me that where it's like basically like it's put to the Boba Fett music, but then it's just like George on his little scooter. And then the second one was from Scrubs when Turk buys everybody, or he buys him and Carla mopeds.
Yeah.
And they're all like color coordinated. I was like, that's exactly, it looks exactly like
It
it.
seemed like they were trying to do like some Back to the Future stuff.
Oh, yeah. Then he runs into the thing. It should have been Manor.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, I hate Manor.
Manure.
Yeah, it was like Power Rangers a little bit with the colors, like Red Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Green Ranger.
It felt like the vibes it gave, like not just visually, but like the way everything was, it felt more like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have shot more like low stuff to give speed and like, panning real quick, and like everything was really high up. And when you do high up, just like when you're watching like a soccer game from the stadiums, it's really slow because you're so far up. But when you're closer to a target, like the shot that you're shooting, it's like way faster. So there's way more speed.
I remember
But
you
they're
had
all out.
you had the same problem in Solo with that speeder chase. To me, now that speeder chase seems way faster and way more intense than this one really lowers the bar.
I think it's because it was practical.
Yeah.
And so they were kind of filming it, and they're like, we can't, this is how fast these things can go. and then you
Yeah,
can't
but that's where
speed
you
it
have
up.
camera
You
work.
can't speed it up because then because there's so much movement with the heads, then the heads would be like sped up, so you can't do that. So I think they were just like, that's what it's gonna look like, kind of thing.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It is what it is.
It just felt to me. It just felt really slow. I remember watching it and being like, "This feels really slow." Like they're like going, nee. Yeah.
It is crazy to me. Like, I still really enjoy the episode, but like, just the fact that people are like, "Oh, this is the worst thing ever." I'm like, why don't you relax?
Yeah. Welcome to the internet
It's
these
the
days.
internet.
Yeah.
I will say, this is the worst Boba Fett episode they've ever made, for sure.
Yeah.
It probably is. You're right. Hey, you're
Yeah.
right. This
It's
is the worst.
It's the worst Boba Fett episode.
They ruined Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that's the thing that drives me crazy. There's such an extreme to be like, if you didn't like it, it's fine. I didn't like it, but it's not like I'm going to throw away the rest to be like, I've heard a lot of people being like, Robert Rodriguez should have not been given this. I'm like, you haven't even seen the rest
Right.
of the series. And Robert Rodriguez didn't write this.
Right.
Jon Favreau wrote it. Like, he
Right.
wrote the story. So to me, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, let it finish the series and then give your thoughts on it. Like, if you like it, great. If you don't,
I mean, if I judged Rebels based on singular episodes, like I wouldn't be a
that's-
big
that's-
fan
it'd
of
be a terrible
Rebels.
show.
Yeah, that's what happens every time with Rebels. Though they're like, "This is a filler episode. This sucks. What are we doing here?" And then it's like at the end, you're like, "Oh yeah, it all fits together."
Yeah.
But anyway,
People just need to calm down.
I was actually talking about this with Crystal the other day. Is that now that shows like you just dump one show on Netflix, the whole season, you binge it. Those shows have a lot more leeway than a show that comes out weekly, because every week you're like,
I think it's way smarter because you're judging it based on the whole work,
exactly,
not just the individual.
So
pieces.
even if you don't like one episode, you're like, oh, just go to the next one. It's no problem. But if you come out week to week, every episode's like, no, I got to wait a whole week for the next one.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see the different strategies. I mean, honestly, I like the week by week because then it lasts longer. Because I mean, we would have been done with this, a couple weeks ago, and we would be like, when's the next Star Wars show coming out? But it's just kind of interesting how that works, where if you just put a whole season out, there's probably 3 or 4 episodes in that season that you probably don't like, but you don't really think about it because you're instantly onto the next one.
well, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because if they do the weekly thing, they want people talking. So they want people to make videos on YouTubers, stuff like that, podcasts, which this is one of them.
Oh, wow.
They want people talking about it, but at the same time, you're going to get what you said. Like, you can't control the narrative. Like, if people don't like it, they're going to say they don't like it, and you're going to get negative feedback. I mean, it's just kind of like, that's what
it is what it is.
When you release it like that, you're just going to have to deal with people that liked it and people that didn't, and the discussion of it. It's just kind of, but for them, people are talking. Like, for them, it doesn't matter because they want people talking about the show. Whether that's a negative view on it or a positive one, it still gets engagement. And so that's why they do the weekly thing, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, you kind of milk out more viewers if you do it weekly too. So I don't know,
What did you guys think of Danny Trejo showing up?
dude.
I don't know why I didn't expect it.
Why did it feel like a joke? For me, I felt like it was a punchline or something like that. It's so weird seeing him there.
It was a little distracting. Right now, I really don't care as much as I did when I saw it. I was like, "Oh, really? Okay, this is."
You kidding me?
I wasn't mad. I was
Star
just
Wars
like,
is ruined.
It felt weird.
But I mean, right now, I just who cares? Whatever.
Melissa, when she first saw him, she says, Machete. That's what she knows him from. Like, she watched Spy Kids when she was younger, too. So that was like her thing. So she was excited. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see it coming. I should have seen it coming that Danny Trejo would be at least in the show somehow. I didn't.
At least he's not a Jedi, right?
Yeah, that would have been. I think that would have been out of character. I did like their callback to. They're like, "Oh, the witches of Dathomir used to ride the Rancors." I'm like, yeah, nice. Yep. Let's get some more of this connective tissue in here.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, like I said before, they're planting a lot of seeds. And so there's a lot of potential in this series to be really good. So I'm very interested to see what the last episode's like, because it has to lead into other things, and
Han Solo,
maybe Han Solo, Kira.
Do you guys want to know what
my
I'm considering?
gosh.
I think
Of course, that's why we're here.
I think this series will end with Mando coming, and it'll be teasing season 3. Like he's gonna try to get Boba to join his crew to help him, whatever he's gonna do in season 3. He has a darksaber now, so maybe he's taking back Mandalore. So I think that's what it's gonna be, the tease into that. You're gonna have that like Boba Fett, and it was gonna say Boba Fett will return in season 3 of Mandalorian, and then after the credits, we're gonna get our first trailer for Obi-Wan series.
Oh, that'd be smart.
That's probably for sure going to happen.
So
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Probably May, right? For Obi-Wan.
oh, I'm thinking
Yeah.
It's going to be May. That'll be cool.
every time
I'm pumped. What?
you get me every time with that.
No problem. Anytime.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, that's our Book of Boba Fett talk.
Yeah, episode 3. That was dope. And we're looking forward to the next episode. We're going to try to release the videos a little bit earlier. We had some feedback online. So I'm going to just rearrange how I release them. But yeah, to whoever that was, thank you. You know what, Jonah? The funny thing is, just real quick, there was a dislike on that video. And then after I talked to that guy and I just said, hey, thanks for the feedback, that dislike's gone.
Thank
Wow.
you, Jimmy Connors.
You
for doing
rise
that.
above, Jonah. Okay.
Hey, why are you talking to me? I just thought it was funny.
Okay. Well, I'll just let you know. That was good. So thank you guys. Please,
The,
give
the
us
videos will be
feedback.
released when they're released. Okay.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like
Yeah.
on our YouTube to stay up to date on all our videos that come out a week after the episodes post.
It won't be that far, guys. Stop. But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll see you in the next week in the next video.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye.
See you later.